At the Gala Awards dinner, of course, we have a number of awards to go through. One of them is our large service desk team. We've got our three finalists here, Informatics Merseyside, DHL Europe and Linkletters. We've got three representatives from those organisations. And the purpose of this session is for us just to put a few questions to them about what they've been doing and why they are in this competition. And we're going to judge their answers and their responses. Shall we then decide who wins? So who we've got is, we've got from Informatics Merseyside, we've got Dave Gordon on our right. We've got Slavka Horakova over on our left from Linkletters. Practicing that all day. No, she's from DHL Europe. Sorry. Jason Rawlings from Linkletters.
Hello.
First of all, guys, just before we start with the questions, perhaps just 30 seconds or so, just a personal intro, just to let the audience know who you are, what your role is, etc.
Yeah, sure. As just stated, I'm Jason Rawlings. I work for Linklaters. Now, Linklaters is one of the country's oldest law firms, and it's a global law firm and one of the biggest. It's what is called as one of the magic circle law firms. We've got about 5,000 users or customers that we look after globally. We look after them 24/7, and primarily they will be obviously lawyers interested in that type of customer we've got to look after.
Good afternoon, everybody. Is that working? My name's Dave Gordon. I'm from Informatics Merseyside. Actually feels like I'm on blind date here. I've always wanted to be on blind date. So, contestant number 2. What we do in Informatics Merseyside, we're an NHS IT shared service organisation. We've got a single service desk supporting around 20-odd thousand users. My role is IT operations manager, so I look after the strategy around the service desk as well as some other items such as IT security and procurement. That's probably enough for me.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon. My name is Slavka Horakova. I'm here to represent the PDHL IT Services Service Desk. I've been with the organization for past 10 years, and this is the first time ever we participate, and I think that's a great milestone to be right in finals. We run the service desk in 3 strategic locations. One is in Czech Republic, one is in Malaysia, and one in Costa Rica. We operate 24/7, and from Prague we support 11 languages.
Okay. First question, nice easy question first of all. And Dave, we'll start with you. What made you enter the competition in the first place?
Yeah, I've attended the conference past couple of years, and 2 years ago I was out there listening to the finalists answer these questions, and nearly everyone was saying about how it had brought the team together, particularly doing the fun video, which unfortunately you're all going to get to see my horrendous acting later on tonight. And I thought at the time I don't think we were ready in terms of our service maturity to enter award and to enter into the awards, but last year. I think it's around October 2014. I listened to watched the webcast with Howard and Tessa. I just thought we were in the right place. We just got our 3-star certification, and I thought we were ready to kind of enter into the awards. And it has really brought the team together. I hope I'm not answering your next question now, but it did really bring the team together as part of the awards process, and particularly the videos, which we absolutely loved. Everyone was involved in it. We did the storyboarding, and everyone came up with ideas, and we spent a whole day filming it, and had great fun. So yeah, it's been a great process to be part of, really.
And Slavka, same question to you. What was the desire to enter this competition?
The very first, what happened was that our colleagues in Malaysia won 8 prizes in the Asia Pacific Awards, right? And Prague was the only one really closed community, not interested in any kind of competition, and we realized, okay, it could be healthy, so why not to try it? And now we're here, and we realize that it's much more than that, right? It's about networking, meeting colleagues from the same industry, and we're enjoying it very much.
And Jason?
Yeah. Internally at Linklaters, we have annual awards, and in 2012, we won Team of the Year there. And what we saw from that is the how proud the team was, A, to win it, but also how it united that team as well. Now, to answer your question, why did I enter this? Well, I didn't. What happened is one of the analysts actually on the phone decided to take it upon himself to enter this competition himself. He wrote the subscription, he worked very hard on it, and I think that's a testament to that team that they wanted to show, they wanted to be recognised for that, and that's what makes me so proud as sort of a manager of a team, that they feel that someone out there, Sean's out there at the moment, but he felt proud of his team to enter this competition, so that's the reason for it.
Good. I mean, for those of us who have been involved in the scheme over the years, doing the judging, so we know there's an awful lot of effort, work that has to go into it. Masses of effort from you guys in preparing for it, and then of course we need to use it, everything else that goes on. Slavko, come to you first, please. What's been the best part of this whole process and the journey for you and the team?
It's quite difficult to pick the best part because we enjoyed really every step as we move through the process, from preparing the materials and reflecting on ourselves and realizing that it's not that bad actually what we're doing. But the highlight or the great moment was when we had the judges in Prague and we were in a boardroom around the table, and every agent was supposed to tell why we think we should win. And I was seriously not prepared, no preparation at all. So when agents were coming asking me, what should I say? I need to prepare some impressive speech. I told them, no, just be yourself, tell why you think we should win. And the day came, we were sitting there and hearing all those stories, I was really impressed. And I think that just this particular moment was worth the whole participation in the competition. That was the moment where I felt like winner already.
David, as you've got the mic, the best part of the process for you?
Yeah, obviously writing that 3,000-word submission was an absolute joy. But it did crystallize, as you just alluded, that it did make you realize how much you've improved over the last 12 months. We've just totally revolutionized our service over the last 12 months, and actually seeing it in written form just like drove that home. I've also mentioned the video. I've already mentioned that. It was absolutely brilliant to get everyone together and get everyone's ideas. It was such fun. And sometimes you need that on the service desk. You know, you're busy answering calls Monday to Friday. It was just great to have that time aside to think about fun things and actually act it out. It was brilliant. Even the presentations, I think we kind of bonded together as a team, working together on something, and going down to Birmingham to deliver that presentation brought us closer together, I think. So all in all, it's just been very valuable, really.
Jason, same question?
Well, it was the evolution of it. I mean, going back to what I was saying, it was an analyst on the desk that took time out of answering those phone calls to put that subscription together. But that internal reflection that happened after it, that where we looked where we were good and where we were bad, and we got that 360 back from our customers to find out whether we should go for it. And it was unanimous. Everyone was saying, yeah, you should be going for this. You're in a place now that it was felt from our customers that the service desk has never been better. And it's a nice feeling, you know. It's nice to know that when you're cracking on and doing that hard work, that someone is saying, you should get recognised this, not just from us, but industry-wide.
Jason, you want to pick the mic? I'll put the next question and start with you on this next one. Obviously, the awards cover a raft of activity within your organisations and the team as a whole. During the last year, what do you think has probably been the best initiative that the team has worked on and delivered to help your business operations?
Sorry, excuse me, I wrote a few notes about this one. I think over the last year, it's that kind of driving a message to the team that ensuring service is sort of first and foremost on our minds. So that was the first thing. So in doing that, if we start there, what happened? Well, we saw our incident management process mature. It's not just what we thought. We have a third party that comes in, and it's ITIL aligned, and they saw us move from one score to another score, and it's the highest ever been, and in fact, it's the highest process. The incident management process is the highest within our organisation at the moment. But what does that mean? It means that we have a focus on the quality of our tickets. Quality of tickets, what does it mean to the customer? Well, what it means to the customer is that we see better problem management, which means that there is increased mean time to resolve, and obviously that means better customer service. We also wanted to improve our sort of knowledge sharing. So we've introduced skills matrix to try to instigate that kind of consistency of service so that each analyst would help each other analyst in bringing them up. So no matter who came on that phone, they'd get the same kind of message in terms of support. And finally, echoing that consistency of service, recruitment was another key thing for us as well. So by measuring people and making sure that recruitment was right at the start, we were going to get, and with that good training, we would get that consistency of service. And so our retention is quite high as well.
Okay, Dave, any initiatives stick out for you?
Yeah, I mean, well, that's a bit loud. I think for me, the thing that sticks out is the shift away from looking at quantity KPIs and thinking more about quality and improving the customer experience. And specifically, what we've done is liaised with Real Results Training to come up with a quality framework around our calls. And we trained our staff up in the call coaching skills based on that framework. And we've seen massive benefits, really, from doing that call coaching to get a more consistent approach. It doesn't matter who you call, you're going to get the same quality, you're going to get the same service. And I think we're seeing great improvements in our customer satisfaction ratings as well as a result of that. And I think it is just about changing that emphasis away from those quantity-based KPIs, which are still important, but also shifting that to looking at quality and thinking about the whole customer experience from start to finish, and are we doing enough? Are we owning the incidents? And just making sure that that focus remains firmly on the customer experience rather than worrying too much about average handling time, for example.
And has there been any feedback from the business positive about them seeing differences as a result of that?
Yeah, definitely. We've seen great improvements in our customer satisfaction feedback, and as an initiative as part of that, we're actually seeing those results live now. So when we get positive feedback, that's fed back to the individual agent. And similarly, if we see any kind of negative feedback, that's acted upon immediately. So not only, we used to look at things retrospectively after a month and act upon them then, but now we can address issues as they arise. And sometimes we can actually rescue what someone perceives to be poor service and actually deliver a great service because we're looking at it immediately.
Any initiative that's been very successful?
If I think of past 12 months, most probably I would pick 3 of them. One was creation of a remote desktop services team on Frontline. That was a great motivation for our team members, because to have a title system support analyst sounds a little different than the service desk analyst, and that resulted in a greater first call resolution rate. Next initiative is about the daily performance dialogues that we implement. We have a whiteboards for every team, or virtual whiteboards, where every day, 15 minutes, we discuss key focus areas. And it's not only about the processes, not only about the performance, but we focus as well on atmosphere in the team. And everyone can express some concerns if the service is not going great. And you know very well it's not easy to find these 15 minutes per day because of the nature of work we have. But eventually, when you have the quiet time, and it's worth it, because thanks to those comments from our frontline agents, we were able to identify some root causes and run improvement initiatives, and the quality of our customers increase by 3% for the past year. And in general, we are in 87% an increase in continuously. That were 2 of them. Now, let me think of the third one that I had prepared. Yeah, sorry, it just flew away.
That's okay. If you want to keep the mic, I'll come to you with another question first. Obviously, all three of you are in for the large service desk team, got a lot of staff, and offering an awful lot of service provision capabilities to them. If you could pick one, is there one kind of aspect of your service provision that you feel your customers benefit from the most?
Okay, I start and again. We are a large service desk, but I think that our service is very close to our customers. We focus very much on customer intimacy. That means in practice that every technician knows very well how business operates. And customers can feel it right away when you reach someone who understands very well what you're talking about. By understanding business operations, we can maintain proper competency profiles of our technicians. That means that they have the right skills at the right time when we need them. And this makes us special, I would say, for the large service desk.
Jason?
So the one thing that the customers want, it's all about time for us. We work for a law firm. They're billing customers all the time. So time is the most important thing for us as a service desk. What does that equate to? So what do they want from us? And first of all, it's not only what we think they want, it's what we know they want, because we do event-based surveys, so with each ticket we find this information out, and also we do periodic interviews with the top 50 callers to the service desk, so we try to find that information out. But what does time mean? If you concentrate on knowing what your customer wants, and they want good time, they want quick times to respond, so our average wait time for a customer is 20 seconds. The time to resolve, so you want to make sure that the people know what they're doing. So we resolve, mean time to resolve is 98% within the SLTs agreed with the customers. Time, again, availability to help. So we're 24/7. So we work around the clock, including Christmas Day. I'm sure you guys do it as well. And expertise. So what you don't want to do is when you're on that phone, you get through to someone that doesn't know what they're doing and it wastes your time. So with that training and that skills matrix and that kind of empowerment that we give to our analysts to help each other, what we find is we end up with a sort of an 84 to 85% first-time fix rate. So time, they have to wait 20 seconds. They're going to get through to an analyst within that time, and their issue is going to be resolved 85% of the time within a 4-minute phone call. So that's the one thing for us, time.
And Dave, one aspect of your service provision your business value the most, you believe?
I'm probably contradicting myself here when I've said like quality is so important, but obviously when we're working in the NHS, so we're dealing with patient care issues here, so speed as well is paramount in terms of restoring normal operation as soon as possible. So as well as focusing on quality, we're also hitting our KPIs, and in the last 12 months we've cut our average wait time by 50%. And we've done that by a number of ways, really. Through staff training, because we support so many different trusts and so many different systems, we used to have our own kind of specialist teams within the service desk. But now we've trained everyone up to be able to support all those different systems and trusts with their different processes, which has really helped those KPIs, particularly around telephony, but we're also still improving on our first-time fix rate as well, supported by new initiatives such as Sarah Point, that's what we informally call it, Sarah's SharePoint knowledge base, which has been invaluable to the staff in terms of having instant access to those knowledge articles.
You've got a lot of good people, a lot of great activities going on. What makes you stand out as a service team within your organisation? Jason, do you want to start with that, please?
What makes us stand out as a team? Is a very good question, but thinking about it, I think it's how they almost operate as a family. It goes back. Let me give an example. The skills matrix. So you're new in, and you're working. It's your first month in there, and there are other people or other analysts that have been there for several years. That's a kind of daunting affair, especially when you're dealing with phone calls from lawyers and so forth. But what we've done is we've created this environment of sharing and helping each other. So, for example, in our skills matrix, you score yourself on the over 100. We have to support over 200 different services and applications there. So there's a lot to learn. So what we do is we ask people to score each other, and what we say is score yourself from 1 to 5. But it's the key wording of it. What we don't say is I'm great at this and I'm rubbish at this. What we say is I don't know about this, please can I be trained? And at the other end of the scale, it's saying I am fully aware of this and happy to lend my support. So what we do within one-to-ones, we get those two people together. So we don't have the person that's at the top of the scale smug thinking, well, I don't need to do anything. We say within one-to-ones, well, are you helping that person? So what happens then, you get this accelerated learning within the team. And because that happens, you get the kind of feeling of bonding with that person. I remember when I first joined, I started off as an analyst, and I always remember being buddied up with someone. And to this day, I'm always appreciative of that help and support that person has. And I would imagine if I asked any of the analysts, do they trust and support their co-workers, they would do that. So that's how I'd sum up.
Dave, you've got the mic. Yeah. What makes you stand out as a service group?
I think within our own organisation, I think we're seen as possibly the happiest team. I think over the last 12 months, we've focused a lot, not just on customer satisfaction, but also on people satisfaction. There's probably a lot of things that we've done that I've probably forgotten about, but in terms of recognition, we've got an Employee of the Month scheme. We've put in place PDRs and training, so people perhaps in the past have been promised training and it just hasn't been delivered, sometimes because of financial reasons, sometimes because of pressures through resources, but we're now delivering on our promises. Staff are getting trained, development, there's a clear career path within the service desk. We spend specific time training our individual staff, so we have, is it every Thursday in the month? It's staff training day. People have protected time, so they just have that time to reflect and learn. It's not just a constant 9 to 5 answering phone calls anymore. And we do a bi-monthly people satisfaction survey, which regularly shows 90 to 100% satisfaction, compared to about 60% when we first started it. So we're really seeing the benefits of that, not just in happy people, but they do deliver better service, no, undoubtedly.
Slavka, you're a great organisation. Why?
For our team, what's special is that we have more than 40 nationalities at Service Desk. And the way we can cooperate and deliver excellent results is something amazing and surprising. And whoever you ask at my team, they would give you probably similar answer, that they enjoy the multicultural environment. And when I look at employee opinion results, every year we get the highest score on team cooperation comparing to the rest of IT services community. So this is for Service Desk always number one, the team cooperation, how we work.
Okay, the award is really for, obviously, who you are now, what you've been achieving in recent times, but you've evolved and moving forward. So over the next year, maybe 2 years if you're thinking that far ahead, where are you going with your team? What initiatives have you got planned out so you're prepared to share with us? Perhaps, Dave, if you wouldn't mind starting?
Yeah, sure. We've recently implemented live chat. It's only in the pilot phase, but I see that as the start of a wider strategy, which will ultimately end up in call avoidance, so self-help. So the way I see that fitting in is that when we build our self-help portal later this year, we've already got all the content available for that. So we've done a lot of videos, a lot of knowledge articles, a lot of self-help stuff. We engage people through live chat and then can simply deal with common queries by sending a URL to a video of how to set up your email signature, for example. There's something that all the common stuff that's quite easy, but that might take 5 minutes to answer, to talk someone through over the phone. We'll deliver that through a URL, and then eventually the way I see that working is that people will keep going back through live chat, but eventually they'll think, actually, why do I need to do that? I know where the self-help portal is. I know where to find all these how-to videos. I will just go there as my first port of call. So eventually that will deliver, call avoidance and leave us to be a more quality service desk dealing with, the more complex incidents rather than just the simple dealing with a query that you might deal with 50 to 100 times a day.
And Slavka, what's in the pipeline for DHL?
We are now very much thinking of automation because we have this shift left initiative when we move in a task from solution support to frontline, but we're trying to do the same with our customers and shift some tasks so they can help themselves. And right now we have in pilot automated password reset with the biometric recognition. So far it's been okay. If it's that successful, we would like to roll out in the rest of the region. We also working on global consolidation of services because, as I mentioned, we have 3 strategic locations and there's still a lot of work left there in terms of tools, processes, consolidation. I think that's are the key now.
Okay. And Jason?
Hi.
What's on your roadmap for the coming future?
Well, yeah, okay, well, there's quite a few things, but I'm not going to go through all of them. I'll say the key ones, but we're definitely evolving, and because continued service improvements what we're always thinking about. But I'll talk about the desk to start with. For the desk, a greater reliance on staff surveys. So we want to see those ideas, find out what the team like doing. So a happier team will come across on the phone. We can deploy those people into doing specific jobs that they like doing. Of course, that will give you the consistency of staff or retention of staff, if you like. And also good ideas come from staff surveys as well. So what we're doing is getting the staff surveys and then feeding them into team meetings, and then I'll answer those questions almost there and then, so we can sort of build up a management strategy from the staff themselves. Training is another big one for us. We're going to ramp that up. The main reason for that is we've got, with the law firm, there's a big push now for mobility. The lawyers want to work differently. That kind of desktop-bound way of working is changing with the introduction of brand new laptops, lightweight laptops, tablets and smartphones. So what does that mean for the service desk? That we've got to catch up with that. We can't stand still. We've got to embrace that. We've got to be prepared to do that to maintain that customer satisfaction should these new things come across. And for me, coming up, I would like to delve more into the rewards, and I hate this word, by the way, and I know it's been bandied about at the moment, but rewards and gamification or gamification. We want to look more into that. Something, for me, a small thing can go a long way for someone that is on the desk taking those phone calls. So 3 key areas for me.
I've got one final question that I'm going to split into two halves and give you as much time as you want to answer it. And Slavka, being a British gentleman, I'll let ladies go first on this one. Why should DHL win the award tonight? And what would it mean to the team if you did so?
I will start with the part what that would mean for the team, because that popped up first. I would say that team would be very proud. They would feel appreciated, and also that would be a great commitment to our customers, because to be the best service desk, that means also you need to act like that with every single interaction. So there is no room for any small failures anymore, right? And why we should win? Because we deserve it, and we think that we gain trust of our IT services colleagues through proving that we can do more than just password reset. I believe that past 12 months, I can see the reaction or the way our colleagues talk to us change, and that's why we should win, probably.
Jason, you've got the mic.
Thank you. Okay, I'm gonna start with what it means actually as well. Well, what it would mean for the desk. Well, I wrote this down earlier on actually, and I had a good think about this because it's a very good question. And I think the team would be very, very proud. And I think they'll be very proud because the submission came from a hard-working analyst themselves. It was from one of them. It was Sean, who's sitting over there at the moment. As I said, he proposed, he entered, he presented. He even did the video for us, so, you know, we'll see what that's like later on. But I think it's a clear reflection of that we don't just talk about empowerment within the service desk at Linklaters. We actually embrace it, and it actually happens here. Why we should win it, I feel a bit, you know, that Britishness comes into you and you feel a bit modest about talking about it, but it's all those things that we talked about within the interviews, that we have high customer satisfactions with, you know, low wait times, high first-time fixes, and all the stats that everyone probably in this room knows about. So that's why I think we win it, but I go back to what it would mean to the team most of all. I think that would make me very proud, and honestly, for me as the manager of that team, I just think that's the key bit. It came from analysts themselves.
Finally, Dave, the floor is yours.
Yeah, we are the best large service desk of 2015. I think for me, it's more about where we were 2 years ago, which was a team probably with its factions, different. We had different team managers with different styles. People weren't very happy. We weren't delivering a great service. I think we finally scraped a 2-star certification, which was an achievement in itself. 12 months later, we absolutely smashed the 3 stars, almost a 4-star organization. And I think that reflected the work that we'd done. And there's no doubt certification was the catalyst, but now it is a natural momentum of continuous service improvement we've got. And I'm absolutely convinced we'll be 4 stars, if not this year, certainly next year. And I just think the award itself will just crown that for the team. It will give the team pride in itself, and the organisation will see us differently. They already see the service desk as a top-performing team now, which they didn't 2 years ago. But I think this will add more to that, and we can, you know, advertise ourselves externally and internally as being a top-class service desk.
Okay, thank you. Before we close the whole session down, and this is not going to go down well with our 3 friends up front here, are there any burning issues from the floor that you feel, do you know what, I'd really like to know the panel's opinion to one of my questions? Anything that hasn't been covered so far? We have one? Slap it on.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Very interesting to hear you all speak, so thank you for that. This is specifically for Dave. You mentioned you're 3-star accredited now. Has that had some bearing on your submission? You 3, 4? Well, you didn't tell us that, did you? He did.
Did it have an effect on the submission? I think it made my job easier in terms of, particularly when I was writing that 3,000-word submission based on the guidelines that SDI gave us. The framework was already there, so we already performed well in those 9 concepts. And it helped me certainly formulate the evidence to show that we surprised, delight, and inspire, which were the three words we were given as the ethos around SDI. So yeah, it certainly helped in that respect. And we already had that evidence through the audits, you know, to demonstrate that we're delivering a great service. So yeah, it definitely helped being on the certification process. But I think we've seen with the other 2 contestants, I don't think you're on the certification path, are you? Or? We got the 4 stars. Oh, right. So I don't think it's absolutely essential, but it certainly helped.
We have 0 stars. We have 0 stars just to close the round, so there was no help for us.
Okay, guys, right. Hopefully, we've all had a little bit further insight into 3 finalists. And I know I've been involved with this organisation for many years now, and being a judge myself in these awards for many, many years, that the work and effort that you guys have already put into to getting this far has been phenomenal, and there will be no losers tonight. The highlight, and I think Dave mentioned it on several occasions, The highlight for me tonight, for those of you who have not been to a gala dinner before, has got to be the videos. We asked the finalists, the team finalists, to put a little video together themselves. There's no rules. They can do what they like. It's for them just to put onto film a little story about their people. And if this year is anything to go by, or the last few years have been anything to go by, it's going to be the highlight tonight. They are absolutely brilliant. I look forward to seeing those this evening. Okay, as I say, we'll finish now. There will be no losers tonight. I wish all three of you the best of luck. And can we show our appreciation, please?